And we are live. Technical difficulties.
Yes, gotta love it.
But we are back on a different platform and we got both of our audios working. Make sure to write in the comment section if we sound okay, since we didn't sound so good earlier.
Right.
I'm going to make sure because I'll bring this up.
Just sharing this everywhere real quick.
Yep. Let's do it.
Um, where else did I post it? This one.
All right. Well, we're on.
Cool.
Let's see. We got one person watching so far.
Love it. I'm gonna just add it to my post here. There it is. Alright, and I'm gonna watch it from my phone here. Sweet. Alright. Sweet. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Sorry for all the difficulties. Yeah, so where we were at, I think you were talking about your last race or China race. I don't remember. Either way, we'll get into the China race.
Yeah.
Let's just move to the next thing. So, Aaron, we're going to talk about you here for a second, as if we weren't already.
Right.
In one sentence, describe what it's like to ride an EUC.
Otto, you got get your mic a little closer to your face.
Cool. And I
Gotta
can
turn up your gain.
There,
Turn your gain up a little bit.
Hello.
All right,
Thanks for
give me one
hanging
moment.
out with Mono Otto and Balanced Adventure, where we try to figure out how technology works.
This is great. Let's see.
Check. Hey. How's it sound? So I'm a wedding DJ. That's why I have this kind of equipment and not like a streamer's equipment.
It's sufficient.
Right. It does the job.
We don't mind. Trying to find the link for. There it is. Okay. We got people coming in now. I figured I'd wait until a few more people come in. So once people figure out that we were.
And I'll start doing it in other chats too.
Since there was people that were already tuning in and now they're gone. Sean is typing. All right, everyone that's still here, we're working on it. We're almost ready. Just
we are ready to go.
Kind of a little early to get back into the live stream before we even posted anything. So.
Right. Cool.
Okay.
You want me to say my question again? Are you ready, Aaron?
Go for it.
Sweet. All right. So, Aaron, in one sentence, describe what it's like to ride an EUC for yourself.
In one sentence. That's going to be hard for me. It's liberating, and it's a rush, and it is incredibly convenient and life-changing.
I agree. It's a good one. Your favorite and worst part about riding EUC?
All right. I mean, favorite is kind of like just everything I just described, right? So when I think EUC, I don't consider like so many of the negatives. I'm just excited that I'm riding, right? You know, like all of its conveniences. So I already forgot your question. The good and the bad.
Yeah, the good and the
All
bad.
right, that'll work.
Your favorite riders to watch, and then your favorite rider or your most inspirational riders.
Okay, so the good and the bad, right?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. Good things. Or actually, I'll go with the bad things first. So obviously, unlike other PVs that have multiple wheels, single wheel devices have to balance on that single wheel, and if you happen to lose balance, whether it be a mechanical issue or you are pushing too hard and you overpower the wheel, it ends up not being the greatest, right? Like if you use all the power of an e-skate, like you're fine. If you use all the power of e-bike, you know, like all those things have multiple points of contact. So as long as there isn't something that like literally locks up the wheel that causes you to go flying, like you're fine. But EUC and one wheel both have one wheel, and it's crap. Like when things don't go well. So like that would be like the one major negative. The positives, I could go on a huge list, but simply I love the convenience, the form factor, how it changes like everyday life with grocery shopping or just going to meet up with some people, right? Like, and then of course, the places that it can take you, right? So like I can go up into the mountains and enjoy the view. I can go to the park and enjoy the view. I can go downtown and not have to pay to park, and I can just walk into a business. I don't like there's such a vast amount of abilities and usage cases of EUC, and
Right.
I have so much good to say about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle, and will change everything that you're able to do. So I know I mentioned it. Your favorite riders to watch, and then your most inspirational riders, or people that you look up to.
Thanks, Brian, for letting me know I sound better. I can hear you through the glass over there.
Thanks, Brian.
Yo, Eli's in the house. What up, Eli?
What's up, Eli?
I'm doing a really good job for getting the questions. You said something about like inspirational
I'm
riders,
sorry.
favorite
Yeah,
riders.
it's all good. We're here for good vibes.
Dude.
We're all here for good vibes. Your favorite riders to watch, and then your most inspirational riders.
Okay. Favorite riders to watch. Since I do a lot of racing, a lot of people I ride with, race with, are really both inspirational, but also just exciting to watch. So Mario Ciccone, I always name him. He is incredible. His riding abilities, he's just like very entertaining. He's just so fast, right? So fast, so skilled, so technical, in overall and incredible control of his wheel at all times. So like he's really fun to watch. I really like watching Brian Dillard. When I met him in San Diego, or San Francisco rather, and just seeing his abilities on the wheel was it was inspiring. Ever since the first time I seen him, I was like, I want to be as fast as that guy, but I also want to look as cool as he does, because he just has a really unique style, and he's heavily inspired how I ride. Other people, my buddy Maxwell Berger, Zweems, if he's even watching, he inspired how I ride, and I always was intrigued and enjoyed watching him. There's a lot of people. August Hill, really cool on the wheel. Bankrow, dude. How am I even gonna not mention Bankrow? Bankrow is incredible. He's just so smooth, silky smooth, just so like nonchalant and relaxed, and he's one of my favorite people to ride with, because he's not overly aggressive, but everything he does just looks so cool. Who else? Nick Hall when he would ride. I love seeing him and his style. There's so many people. A lot of New York riders that are really cool. And then of course, since I'll tie this into the inspirational part, this really cool dude, Sean Otto. He goes by like Mono Otto. Yeah, that guy. Oh, he is just so much fun to watch.
when he's not crashing.
Well, no, wait, that's the best part.
Yeah. That's the fun of UC.
I have to switch around something real quick. Give me 1 second.
No worries, you're good. No, I couldn't agree more. Brian is just a gift to watch. If you ever get the pleasure of watching him in person, it's like it's worth paying money for to see. And this is why like racing should be a thing. Not only Brian, like I think Brian and then like EUC show. They have such great style. It's just like a style and just form. Yeah, form of riding is just amazing. But we already all know that they're rock stars. And now that I'm talking to like the fastest rider in the world, no big deal. He's gonna be in that list of people that are just so entertaining to watch. But yeah, if you are ready for the next question, I can shoot.
Well, I'm not done yet. I gotta tell everybody about just how awesome the guy here with me, Mono Otto, is. So this started out as his live stream, but technical difficulties moved it to my platform.
Sorry,
Not
first
because
time
I wanted,
streaming ever.
No,
I want you to get the credit. So this is good. We're on your channel.
No, I'm messing. So I'm his guest, right? But
no, I'm just an interviewer.
So I got to give credit where credit's due. Sean was a huge inspiration in how I ride and a lot of my endeavors, and we can get into that more later. But simply put, as far as like fun to watch, his style's great. Like he just posted a couple of reels on Instagram a few days ago, which I love when Mono Otto here posts. And, he does the really fast around the turn, dragging the hand on the ground, and he's so silky smooth with it. I tried to do that, and when I finally, after many months of like, I'll try it, I don't get my hand quite on the ground, I finally could do it, and I still don't look as cool as he does, right? And I wanted to learn backwards riding, and I learned because of Sean. A lot of people, when they ride seated, they're just riding really chill and it's just like cruising. But Sean, Bankrow, a lot of people, they have a really cool style when they're seated. And then of course they can also ride really fast seated. And I would argue, and I'm going to put you on blast here.
No, shoot.
I would argue you are you would definitely be top 10, but you might be one of, if not the fastest seated riders, like period. You are incredible seated.
Dang.
So like awesome to watch, but a huge inspiration as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
I'll give you a hug later.
Yeah, right. I definitely. I'm gonna just go off topic here and just throw it out there. I think seated UC classes for races should definitely be a thing eventually here. Standing, you obviously can get the most speed and acceleration and would most likely beat anyone that would be seated in a race. But, where the rules will start and end when it comes to like, I'm just hovering over the wheel, I'm seated, whatever. There definitely should be an EUC class for the races that is a seated race, where 99% of the time you're seated. But anyways, just my 2 cents into the racing aspect of EUCs. But no, I appreciate that, Aaron. You have become my inspiration now, seeing you venture out and do all your things, racing, obviously placing first place, not just podium, but first place at these races, which is incredible. We're going to get into talking about the China race here in a second. My last question, personal question for Aaron is, best piece of advice you could tell someone learning to ride a UC or deciding what UC to get?
Ooh, I mean, that's a really loaded question, but
Yeah.
first and foremost, what do you want it for? Like, are you looking for commuting? Are you looking for just a fun outlet, or like what is the usage case, right? So that's the first question. Then the question is like, how far is your commute, or how far do you want to ride? Does it matter to you if it has suspension? What's your budget range, right? They're like, because there's so many different wheels, not only existing, like currently being made wheels, but also, wheels in the past that are still adequate today, right? So like there's a lot of options there. So it's really important to know kind of like what you're interested in, so I can like help people, direct people. So obviously I'll say it right away. Like if you're interested in EUC, you should get one. Simple. Like I don't have to recommend it enough. Also, it's helpful if you want to wear some protective gear, right? So if you're going to get one, definitely, minimum helmet always. Maybe wrist guards, knee pads, elbow pads, and then from there, depending on how fast you're going and what type of riding you're doing, you're going to want a lot more protective gear, especially abrasion protection, because falling off the wheel at 50 plus miles an hour has left a scar on my body that will never go away.
Right.
And so like lastly, I'd say like as far as advice, if you're just learning, if you have a community to lean on to help you, then it'd be good to obviously try and get connected with them. Otherwise, I think helpful things are to start maybe holding on to like a railing or a wall so that you can get both feet up onto the wheel and just try to balance there. And then from there, I don't know. I think the one thing that I've always told a lot of people when they're scared to ride is that they're so worried about just balancing, but they're forgetting that they need to lean forward to get going. And so like that last tip would be, if you're getting moving, it's to not only as soon as you get your other foot on the wheel to start moving, but you lean with your upper body. So a lot of people I'll explain that to them, and they'll start to bend their knees and they'll squat, they'll put their butt out, and all they're doing is like compensating for the chest lean by putting weight backwards. And I'm like, you're never going to go anywhere. So you have to feel like confident, right? Last thing, so like, because this goes along with that. So the point of which the wheel starts to move. So like another thing I do with people, I have them stand up straight and I have them just lean their upper body forward. And if they do it correctly, they don't put their butt out at all, right? They just keep their body straight except for their upper body, and they lean it forward. At the point that you start to like fall, I feel like you're going to fall from going past like the center of gravity. That's about the amount of lean you need to do on the wheel to get it to start moving. And in your head, you're thinking you're going to fall off the front of the wheel, but the wheel's responding to your movements. So as soon as you start leaning, it now has to compensate by moving forward. As it moves forward, you're not going to fall off. So I don't know. That was
it's the same. No, it's all good. I appreciate anything that you have to share with anyone, like getting into this or learning any of this. Yeah, same thing goes with riding backwards. I feel like as a rider, you're learning all over again how to ride, but moving in the backwards direction. And it's that trust fall factor.
Yeah, exactly that.
Awesome.
Rob is in the house. What's up, Rob?
What's up, Rob?
Well, actually, I can do this. I always forget. You can click on everything. So,
true.
Eli in the house.
See, we're all learning this.
Mike Martins, right? Sometimes I'll be forgetting people's names. I'm not sure who WM is offhand, but Duff who? Duff is awesome, by the way. If you don't watch his stuff, he's one of my friends that I need to go visit in Florida sometime, and he does a whole lot of live streams. So
I love Duff.
Cool dude.
I'm totally not trying to be him. I just know this guy personally, and am inspired by him. So I think he needs to be more exposed to the world. So that's why I wanted him to go on a live stream with me.
You expose me anymore. Now it's indecent exposure.
Oh, right. Too much. Put that away.
Yeah. Rob
Cool.
in the house. What's up, Rob?
What's up, Rob? I think Rob's actually in Philly riding with some people right now.
Backwards Adventures. Like, that's my name, but I'll take it. Everything I do is just backwards.
Right. Well, we flipped on everyone. We went from my channel to your channel. So we do everything backwards. Just kidding. So China races. Let's talk about what it is we came here for. What was your take on the overall experience, the UC companies, and the event itself? I'll start there. Yeah, what do you got?
China as a whole was incredible, right? Like, not that I had a bad perception of China. Like, a lot of people were saying negative things. They were like, "Don't go there; it's scary, whatever." And I'm like, these are all from people that have never been there. So, like, you can't really ask someone for their experience if they never experienced something. So, first and foremost, China was really cool and very exciting experience, and a lot more convenient and cheaper than I expected. Like, food there, one of my favorite things about China is the food is not expensive, and you can get whatever you want at any time of the day, as long as like the restaurant's open or whatever. You can have it delivered to you. Okay, like we have that here in the States, right? Like, you have DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all that stuff. But in China, instead of you paying for that $20-something meal plus the DoorDash fees and charges and tipping the driver, and now you've spent like $35, $40 for like not even that great a meal. In China, that same meal delivered to you is like under $5, and it's quick, and the food's hot, and they give you this really nice insulated pouch that like you would pay $5-10 for at Walmart or somewhere, and they give it to you. You keep it.
Oh my gosh.
So and then of course, like I said, the food is great and it's hot, and it's that part alone is just way better. So like, it has nothing to do with EUC, but it's just way too cool.
No, that was part of the experience. I love it. Yeah. Did you want to keep?
I'm just
going
adding
with that thought.
some. I'm trying to let some people know that I didn't that we're doing the live stream.
Yeah, I commented on all the posts I did. So yeah, for those of you that are new to this live stream, my name's Sean. Aaron and I became friends in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and that's how he got started on EUC.
Whoa. Friends?
No, hardly that. And so I've just been encouraging him, and he's inspiring me to do all this types of stuff that puts me out of my comfort zone. And again, I just want to expose him more to the world. Let them know more about EUC. Spread the gospel of how awesome this experience is. Yeah, and of course, as we all know, Aaron is the winner of the China Begode EUC race. So anyways, we are on that subject. Feel free to, like I said, I want to know your take on the companies overall, because I know you did tours of both factories, right?
Yeah, so I'll go on that. So first off, this whole event in China was hosted by Begode, and very kind. They paid for our hotel stay. They paid for our transportation. Fees are waived for the racing, and they also paid for a lot of our meals. So like, incredible hosts, very generous, very kind people. And the only stipulation, you had to race their wheel. But well, they're the company, right? They're the one that's making all this possible. So that isn't a problem. And most racers race on Begode wheels, right? So That wasn't an issue for the majority of us. There was a few people that decided not to show because they felt strongly about the fact that they weren't allowed to race what they normally race on, and that's fine. It's understandable.
Were other wheels allowed, or other companies allowed to be used, like the sister or cousin company, Extreme Bull, or no? Was it just Begode?
I thought Extreme Bull was allowed, but I don't think anyone raced one.
Okay,
I don't remember offhand.
Cool.
I know someone bought an Extreme Bull wheel there, Commander GT Pro Plus, but anyway. So yeah, the whole Juice Box. That's my buddy Dilly. Oh, what up, Dilly in the house.
What's up,
He's
Dilly?
another one of my really good buddies. I told you about him before. He lives in South Carolina. One of the guys I met in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dilly's really cool.
Nice.
Always supportive as well. And I actually just talked to him for like too long the other night, and we were catching up. And I was like, man, it's getting late. We were talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole China experience, basically, it was just a really good experience and good people. And yeah, the Begode factory was about what I expected. I guess I thought maybe it would be a little bigger and like a larger operation, because in my mind, I'm around all these different wheels all the time. And I guess I think that the rest of the world has that many wheels in the close vicinity. It's like the sport and the amount of wheels, I guess, is not that great. So anyway, like their operation was pretty small, but it was still cool to see behind the scenes and like how they're testing their batteries, and they have all these magnifying glasses and things that they go over and look at each individual component on all the boards, their quality control, right?
Right.
And then of course you're seeing like all these brand new wheels that have never been ridden just sitting right in front of you, and I'm just like, oop, just want to pick this one up, walk it out. The Begode Panther wasn't out yet. I guess technically still it's not like 100% out, but we got to try that, so a wheel that wasn't released, so that was cool. So that was the Begode factory. We went to In Motion, but we didn't go to their factory. We just went to their headquarters. And at their headquarters, they showed some of their testing equipment, and they had like a small display with all their current wheels, and scooters. And that was cool. And then they took us out for a meal as well, which was really nice. And I don't actually know if there's a name for it. I'm sure there is, and I don't know better. But like they have these tables in China. They're all round tables, and so everyone's sitting around the table, and they have this like glass ring that's on bearings or whatever, on sliders, that goes around the inner part of the circle, like pretty wide though, right? So you put some stuff and food in the middle, but then you also put stuff on this ring, and it rotates. And then that's how you get your food. So instead of you saying, hey, can you pass the whatever, like there is none of that. You just rotate the ring.
That's so smart.
Yeah. So yeah. Come on, America, get with the times. And
but aren't you moving everyone else's food at the same time, or is it all out?
Yeah. No. So your food is Lazy Susan. That's a good one.
Right.
So your plates are on the outside of that ring. So like think here's the table, and then the inner ring like this is the thing, but then there's a space between those two where you have all have your dishes and your drink, and but yeah, In Motion was really cool. And then they also took us on a group ride, and they brought us into the mountains a little bit. So we did some street riding, we did some stair riding, and then like I thought I was impressive, right? I can ride backwards downstairs, and like I never claimed to be the best, right, or anything, but a lot of people are afraid to ride backwards downstairs. So I was like, oh, I'll do that. There's a guy that was riding backwards up the stairs, and I'm like, obviously
crazy.
very impressed, but I was just like, I'm not like, not that I wanted to show off. I wanted like it for fun in the challenge. But then when I saw him do that, I was just like, you know what? He's awesome. I don't remember his name. He was one of the Chinese riders, but really, really impressive skill set. So yeah, we did that, and then we ended up going to into the mountains with like a really beautiful view. And we did a little trail ride, which it was a pretty mild ride, but people were still crashing, which is hilarious. And I had like my nice camera in on my chest, like with my lanyard or whatever, camera strap, and Brian Dillard crashed in front of me, and I had to stop him. I almost took him out, and I'm like, camera, don't, because like I have so much money sitting there, so it's just funny. But
it's so inconvenient that we get to carry all these expensive things on us.
Yeah, because the wheel wasn't enough.
Right.
Like the obvious dangers of riding a wheel, and then you're doing it off road, and then you're carrying all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, not too smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was fine. I didn't have any issues there, and we all had a good time. And then you were playing a clip earlier of when I crashed. So like, I don't crash often because I tried to do things within my limits so that I'm not like getting hurt.
Yeah.
But then on the smallest little thing, it was a straight section, but there was two small roots on the ground, and I touched the first one, and then I keep riding, and it bounces the wheel, and then I land right before the second one a little sideways, and I torque the wheel, and it like twists, and I just right into the ground, and I'm like, idiot.
What was it, Bad Rider?
Yeah. So the funny part about it was we were making fun of other riders for falling. It's just like silly, like playful, right? So the one dude falls, banter. And everyone goes by. Yeah, everyone goes by him, and they're like, "Bad rider, bad rider." 10 seconds later, I counted it. 10 seconds later, I'm riding, I crash, and I'm laying on the ground there, just like, And Brian Dillard comes by and goes, "Bad rider."
Yep. It was fitting.
Man. Yeah, it was so
and you were able to
funny.
look him right in the face, too.
Funny.
Yeah. Oh, my
I
goodness.
appreciate that, bro.
Is there anything else you wanted to speak on the China race, the Pagoda race? I feel like you've talked about it a bunch on Sensei Vegan and
but
Black Cobra Devs. Yeah.
I mean, the last few things I'll highlight are like, well, let's go back to a food related one again. I got some food. My friends Albert and Brian and Zach, you guys know their names, and they went out and got me some food while I'm doing this. But
good friends.
Yeah, good friends. So like you'd go into kind of like a small store, like a corner store. There was one literally on the corner right by our hotel. And you go in, and it's just snacks everywhere. So many snacks, like anything you can think of. And they have so many variations of it. And like, you go to a store, let's say in the States, and there might be like a few empty spots or whatever. And instead of that, in this store, in every store that I went in, it was just packed full, like all the way. It's like, does anybody even buy any of this stuff? Because they're just constantly stocking.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Other things would be like, so I did the street race, and then there was the off-road race. I didn't expect to do super well on the off-road race, and I wasn't going to push my limits because I know I'm very comfortable with the limits on pavement. I'm not so comfortable with them off-road. I can go faster, but it's just like, once again, I'd rather not get hurt, right? So
yeah.
I told a lot of people don't bet on me for the off-road race, but it was still fun. I'm glad I did it. I made it to semifinals, and then I had this very frustrating thing happen. Like, we were doing a different type of start where you actually have to pick the wheel up. Like, you start at a line, and once they sound the horn, everyone runs to their wheel, picks it up, and rides away. Well, on my first heat, I got to my wheel. I'm really quick. I get on the wheel. I'm the first one out the gate. No problem. My second heat, the semifinal, my wheel won't balance. I'm putting my foot on. I'm like, come on, it won't balance. I'm shaking it. I'm like, oh my God, it won't balance. I can't get on it. And so I just watched everyone leave me. And I'm like, And, you know, you could say I could fight back some positions, but at that point in time, people are 10 seconds ahead of me.
Right.
And I just finished the race. But the paved race, like, that was an experience. I had steep competition. You know, this was, I think, 17 different countries were competing, and over 70 people at that particular race were competing for, you know, fastest in the world. And the people in my own race that were like highly competitive and were definitely a challenge. So I had, you know, Roger Hajali, Zach Darnell, Brian Dillard, and Show Scott. And Show Scott is an absolutely incredible racer, and excuse me, he bested me every race that I've ever raced in. Every time. Well, technically the one before it that we did together was TEF 1, and he slid out. He lost traction in a turn, so I beat him, but that's like not the same thing.
Right.
So now we're racing, and it's, you know, final race, and I have the lead, and he stayed behind me a reasonable distance. He never was super close to me, other than obviously in the beginning. But I wasn't really gaining much distance on him, and he wasn't, you know, really staying too close to me either. But it was definitely a challenge. I would look back about 2 to 3 times a lap out of 8 laps, you know, always trying to see where he's at, you know, just in case, because at any point he could be on my tail ready to make a move. And he was ready for, he even said, like, any mistake you made, I was going to get you. And I made a couple of small mistakes. Like, I had a little bit of a wobble in the first turn. I dipped really hard on the wheel, trying to keep my distance from him. I leaned the hardest that I had at that point on that wheel. I was already going 60 miles an hour, and I just leaned into it more. And it just went pedals down, and I pulled it back, and right there was the next turn. So as soon as I pull it back at that speed, I get a little bit of wobble. I pull into the turn. He thought that I was gonna, you know, be scared after that. He's like, "Oh, I saw your dip." He's like, "I knew I had you." Please, you know, because like we're both really competitive, right? So
yeah, that's what the fun is in racing. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get me. So it was still a challenge though. Like that was definitely, you know, some really it maybe from like videos it looks really chill, but you're moving really fast and you're pushing really hard, and I'm beeping the wheel coming out of turns. Like as soon as I'm coming out of the turn, I'm accelerating so hard, it's beep 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 on an ET max.
Right.
But yeah, it was a good challenge, and we'll see if I can uphold my title throughout this year, because there are some really, really good, very competitive riders, some of which weren't in China, right? So, but yeah, the rest of China was just, you know, a few little group rides and spending time together. Oh, I had to tell everyone about that late night massage that I got. This is Brian Dillard.
Oh,
Get in here, Brian.
What's up, Brian?
Come in real quick.
Yeah.
Say hi to everyone. You can't hear them, but I can.
They can hear me.
What's
though.
up, Brian?
Hey, homies.
This guy, I was just saying nothing but good things about him, right? I was talking about the other Brian, the show guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Show.
Short. Show stands for short Brian.
Hey.
I'm using him for clout.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because like this face versus that face.
Albert Mua sounds awfully close to Albert Kua.
Nice, you guys are back. Yeah, we're gonna have to tell Albert about Albert.
I think he's just being sneaky. This guy's actually our Albert.
Oh, that wasn't your Albert?
What do you got going
No,
on?
there's no way.
Nuh-uh.
We
Anyways.
lost a bunch of people in the process, unfortunately. Fortunately,
Yeah,
Luis
we lost
isn't
him
here because he's busy riding.
I was there when the sound just cut out. I was eating food. I'm just like, what's going on? I thought it was just me. And I was the first one to type in no sound.
Well, I appreciate you.
Sean, you clicked some button. I was seeing you clicking around on some things.
Right.
I'll
Right.
throw
I
one
forgot
of these up
he
at
can't
you.
hear you.
No,
Or you can't hear him.
Yeah, that's why I'm signing.
He says that's why I'm signing. Silly.
Thanks for being a support. Yeah.
I mean, I put it on the speaker, but then everyone's gonna hear it in echo. Oh boy, what, throwing up gang signs, bro. You sure about that?
They're
Yeah.
white gang signs. Yeah.
Oh man.
No.
Anyway, Brian Dillard was in China with me, and he placed third in the paved race. Very impressive. And once again, what's crazy is because he was my inspiration. Like, Sean, you were my inspiration early on, and still are. But as far as my racing inspiration, someone that I said earlier about, like, what are you doing?
I'm entertaining the live stream. All 10 people in.
Oh my gosh. Does it say where? There's 10 people?
Right here.
10 people. Hi, 10 people that are watching.
Yeah, we're
We're
gonna
going to get
lose
back
them.
to the scheduled program here in a minute. But before you go, anyway, Brian, he placed third in the global Begode race. And very impressive. And yeah, so he was my inspiration when I went to San Francisco. And I try to mimic his style, but I never look like him because you just can't copy him. He's just so cool. Wonder
You
if
gotta be more
Eli's still
flexible.
here.
Yeah.
We
can
fresh
ask
bones in the house.
since we're talking to the chat, we can answer a question real quick. Was there a big price difference for EUC in China versus the rest of the
I'll
world?
leave you to it, Aaron.
See you, Brian.
Bye, Brian.
He said, "Bye, Brian." Was there a big price difference?
I guess it's the same. It's just a matter of
Bye, Sean.
you know.
He
Bye.
says, "Bye, Sean."
It's just a matter of paying in dollars or their currency, right?
I
I guess
don't know.
shipping rates.
I
Shipping's
think
different.
I think they're all kind of like generally the same, but there was special discounts to people that were at the event. They wanted to, I guess, probably promote sales, but also like give us the opportunity to buy wheels at a discounted rate. You know, thanks for being here, type thing, I guess. But
Right.
I don't know pricing. I don't remember. They gave us pricing. It was better than any place you're going to go, basically, price wise. And yeah, I didn't take advantage of that because I'm broke.
Well, you also won a wheel being
Yeah, I won a wheel.
first
but,
place.
like,
So
well, and also
Yeah.
it was what wheel would I want that was available to me, in the first place. So there's a couple of newer wheels out. The Blitz Pro that was previously unreleased that they were allowing us to buy in China, and then also the Begode X-Way, which is now supposed to be one of the best off-road wheels. And I got to
Right.
experience it in China. Incredible torque. Suspension felt really good. But yeah, I didn't go ahead and buy that.
just
some of
remind
the
everyone real quick what you rode for the race, in
ET
case
Max.
anyone missed that. Yeah,
Begode
Yeah.
ET Max.
and I feel like a lot of riders raced that wheel too. It was probably because the track that you guys were on in China was more of a longer track. It wasn't like this short like AVS curvy track.
Yeah, and you needed something that had a good top speed. Obviously, like good torque and everything's important, but I will say the ET Max is really hard to like wring the power out of. Like you
Right.
really have to aggressively lean forward and back, both to accelerate and brake. Unlike most wheels, it's just like it has the power, but I don't know if it's like motor design or software tuning, but it just is hard to accelerate really hard either direction. So I was able to do it, but I also weigh more, so maybe I didn't have to lean as hard. But I also needed a wheel that had the power to not only keep up with the competition, but to also hold my weight. So like I'm about 205, 210 pounds. Most of my competition between 140 and 160, where like the bulk majority of people I was racing. One of the guys, he actually placed sixth, Morgan. I think he said he weighs like 120 pounds, and I'm like, which is crazy because he was able to race a Blitz Pro and get sixth place on his very first ever official race. So he also has a YouTube channel. Anyone watching? I actually, him and I did a little project. I helped him with like shooting some video of Lipa Kim Link's review, like a 3,000 mile review. So his channel is T4 Bros. But yeah, he really impressed me, especially being only 120 pounds, and like his lean is insane. I caught him on video for his links review. I got him from the side as he's leaning into the links, and he ended up dipping it at like 40 miles an hour. He was just leaning so hard, and I'm like, this guy weighs nothing, but his lean is incredible because you have to.
Right.
But yeah, so a lot of my competition was lighter weight people, right?
Right. Because you're how tall and how much do you weigh, if you don't mind telling everyone?
I'm taller than most of the competition, and I weigh like 205, 210. Yeah. So the people that I was against, they're on wheels that are similar power level to mine, but because I weigh more, it's harder for the wheel to like accelerate.
Right.
As far as like it has to compensate for my weight. So yeah, the ET Max was a bit of a struggle. But then, and also it gets more wobbles than most wheels, whereas like the Blitz Pro is very stable.
Interesting.
And then
is
the
that weight
X-Way,
difference?
It's less weight. You would think the
Right.
more weight would be more stable, but a lot of that weight is up higher on the ET Max.
Right.
And then the X-Way, I got to race it on the off-road race in China, and the power difference, like low-end torque power difference, was huge. It was like night and day. So ET Max, I lean really hard, it'll go. The X-Way, I don't know if I said that right earlier. The X-Way, the torque is so good, you barely lean at all, and it starts to move. You lean aggressively, and it's a rocket ship.
Right.
So it definitely made it a little hard to probably like pull away from show in after coming out of turns, because like he turns really well, so he's not far off from me in the turns, and then I'm trying to out accelerate out of the turn. He barely has to lean, and he has the power.
Right.
So
what was he riding?
X-Way,
Oh, right. Okay.
168 volt X-Way.
Do you feel like it capped power after a certain speed, or
No,
no?
it was all the power all the time. It was just a matter of keeping leaning. So
Okay.
I never dipped the ET Max prior to the race.
Oh, I meant the
And
X-Way.
any of the prior races I
yeah.
did. Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh, I'm asking about the X-Way because you said you were comparing the two. How like the ET Max has the more top end speed and power there, whereas the X-Way is more low end torque and responsive right off the line.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure, but I think
I was trying to say, like, is the X-Way kind of like does it feel like the power kind of caps at some point at a certain speed?
I've never gone fast on it, so I don't know. I heard people say that it was like software limited to a lower top speed, and then Bigode came out with an update like 3 months ago that allowed you to go faster. It also made the wheel just feel more responsive. So people that I heard that were using it to race on street races said it was a lot more powerful and had a higher top speed. So I heard, but other people still said it was limited. I think Show said he was dipping a few times throughout the race. I don't know for a fact. I know leading up to that race, I didn't dip at all in the ET Max, but on one of the final laps of that race, I dipped. But that was from me trying even harder to get every ounce of power out of it to maintain my lead.
What riding mode did you ride in?
I was in hard mode for that race. Normally, I would race in soft or medium, but they updated my firmware right before I started racing that day, and the pedals got softer. So I had to put it in hard mode.
Okay.
Nice. I find it a little interesting. Nobody's talking in the live stream.
They just want to hear what's going on. That's all good.
That's okay. But interaction is good too. So if you guys have any questions or just want to say what up, throw something in there.
For sure. I am going to ask again if at the end, if anyone has any more questions before we wrap things up. So don't feel like we're going to lose you if you ask a question. So other than just the race, I know that was kind of like the main subject and topic, but is there anything left that you want to say about China or any other racing material? I'm going into the next subject otherwise.
Yeah, let's just keep it moving.
Cool. So as far as the future for EUC, what do you want to see improve or be added to EUCs?
This year I'm really excited because they're doing, several manufacturers are doing what I've been wanting from the beginning, which is smaller lightweight wheels, but that have suspension and have lots of power. If I want to go fast or if I want to go on a long range ride, I'm going to pick a bigger, heavier, more powerful wheel. But just for going to get some groceries or just for a small, like in the town type of ride, meet up with friends or whatever that it is that I'm doing that's like not so long distance or high speed, I want to ride a small wheel. So my favorite wheel to ride around is my 16X. I tell people all the time, it's my favorite. It's very convenient, and I like the speakers and the torque that it has. Tom Herr is in the house.
Oh, shoot.
Tommy Guns, let's go.
What's up, Tommy Guns? Tommy is our Tom is our long range buddy.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. You know what? Tell them about that story real quick.
Which one? The going to Maryland or going?
Well, we'll tell the people about our shorter rides, and then you got to tell them about the Philly ride.
All right. Yeah, I will. So as far as where Aaron's from, he's in California now. He's traveling full time in his van, doing all things EUC, which is so cool and awesome. Tom, who's in the chat here, he was friends with Aaron first, and they kind of did all kinds of hobbies together. And when Aaron started riding EUC, Tom started to slowly get into it as well. And sure enough, bought his own. So all three of us do long range rides when we finally get a chance to do them throughout the year. And I'll just say we've ridden from South PA to Maryland and back in an overnighter. That was like 150 miles total. It was easy, but it's fun when you can find cool paths or trails to do it. Where else have we gone? We've gone all over.
We do the long distance
PA.
ride.
Yeah.
Right? We do the long distance ride where we start in Lancaster.
Yeah.
Which is where we all three live. Well, you live close enough to Lancaster.
Right.
And we'll do either we have this one rotation we do, or we'll maybe sometimes do a backwards rotation, but it's about a 100-mile ride.
Right.
And basically we ride some backcountry roads. We get down to a river trail where there's like just very fine gravel, and you could like walk or run on it. We just ride our wheels on it. We start there, we go out into the street, go up, charge a little bit, get some coffee, and then we ride up to another town and some back roads, and we get some food, and then we charge, EV charging.
Mind you, we're using, most of the time we are using Roger chargers, so we're charging as fast as possible, 10 plus amps, to not waste any time, and we can knock out 100 miles in a day easily.
Yep. Easy.
It's not a problem. It's doable, and so many people are so amazed at how much range we can do in one day and not be tired or something like that. We can go from seated to standing to seated to whatever position we want and get comfortable. You don't have to constantly be tied to one position and take a lot of breaks. We usually are trying to do at least 30 to 40 miles at one time before we take somewhat of a break. And even then, we have longer range wheels so they can handle farther distances. We just try to pump as much juice into it as possible. And being on a single wheel device, you always want to have a safety net of power.
Yeah, so I mean that for us is like a really chill ride. We don't do anything crazy fast, or mostly we're moderating our speeds to 25 to 35 miles an hour, just so that we're not draining our battery too far.
I like to call it miles per charge. What's the best miles per charge you can get?
We just make fun of it. It's always like a beautiful day when we do it, and we'll eat some good food and just good vibes. And a lot of people do these type of group rides. For us, maybe there's not as many great routes or scenic places to go that are remotely close. So this is like this is a good ride for us back in Pennsylvania. But yeah, we make the most out of it, and we normally keep it to just us three. Tom and I have done it solo multiple times, and we've also included our buddy Declan into the ride, another guy from Harrisburg, and yeah, it's a really good time. And I wanted to do a little more long distance ride with them guys, but then I moved out to California. So before I moved, we did another couple of long distance rides, that same ride included. But you guys did a really cool ride just a few months back.
Yeah, that was actually at the end of September, or towards the end of September. I forget. Maybe it was July almost, or July, September, not July, August, September, whatever. But we rode a total of 250 miles in 22 hours. Granted, we were super extra tired at the end of the day, but when you're only cruising at 25, 30 miles an hour, and again, you get to adjust yourself, you move around, stand up, sit down. It's doable. You definitely have to get used to that. As far as it's like a marathon runner. They're training to do that. They're not going to just go out there and do it. We've had these 100-mile days to build ourselves up for the endurance. But, we rode to Philly. Being from Lancaster, driving there is about 60 miles, but that's like highway. Doing it the way we do it is, we try to hit back roads as much as possible, averaging a 25 to 30 mile an hour speed, and obviously try to find bike paths or bike walking paths, that kind of stuff, or trails, and obviously discretion. We are slowly passing pedestrians. We're not flying on these trails if we are on them. We say hello to people. We're respectful of people's space and alert people if we're coming. You don't want to be an asshole. Excuse my language, but you don't want to be an asshole on the trails to then further get more issues for all of us, UCs, e-dirt bikes, e-bikes in general, because they'll associate us together, and we don't want to give a bad rap to our hobby and our outlet. But anyways, all that to be said, our route there was about 40 miles of road and then 35 miles going all the way into Philly, and rode around Philly all day, again charging at 10 amps plus the whole day so that we can get back to riding as quickly as possible. Many food breaks, drink breaks, whatever we have to do just to keep our charge up. And we even stayed for a night group ride in Philly, it was a great time. It was really fun. Definitely tired at the end of the day, and it was we left at 6 a.m. in the morning and got back at 4 a.m. the next day.
And how many miles?
250 miles.
250 miles in less than 24 hours.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of chill riding in that. There was a lot of stopping.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys were doing a lot of riding and at a pretty good speed too.
Yeah. I mean, when we got there, we definitely had fun and made sure, you're being in the city, you're not going to go, that fast. But there's definitely opportunities to get some good speed on, high, not highways, but areas that have multiple lanes and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was a great time. We got to meet a lot of cool people. I've done rides in Philly before, but it's always been drive out there or take the train. And unfortunately, some train systems aren't taking UCs anymore. Great advice for riders. Treat people great.
Yeah. WM said,
hobby. Yep.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Great advice for riders. Treat people great. Hopefully we can keep this hobby going without any laws limiting us. And I agree. So like Sean said, and we always made a point to do this, we like to ride aggressively. We like to have a good time, but we also understand the implications of doing that, and especially doing it around certain people in certain places.
Right.
And especially like the e-bike, especially like e-dirt bike crowd has caused themselves an immense amount of problems and made it so that they're strictly prohibited from riding in a lot of places. So people on Surons and Talarias, E-Ride Pros, like all those different very common e-dirt bikes, and people are out there ripping and doing crazy stuff, wheelies and running people over. And like, you know what, there's plenty as many people as there are doing bad things like that. There's plenty of people that are minding their own business, they're just having a good time, that don't want any trouble, and they're not looking to hurt anyone. So, you know, but because like they've had enough people doing bad stuff like that, it caused trouble for their whole community, to the point that they're banned from riding in so many places. We don't want that. You know, EUC is already a very niche hobby. We love it. I've explained, especially like earlier in the stream, about how convenient it is, and just how much fun and freeing it is. And most people, like, they see someone on e-skate, or not e-skate, just hopped in, e-bike, and they're doing crazy stuff. Like, it's a bad look, but
What's up, e-skate?
they just associate all of them, you know. So, but then especially with us, someone sees someone riding by at 40-50 mile an hour, like when they're on a walking trail, and you're on an EUC, like, now you just really highlighted yourself, and you know, you're just causing problems. Like, people will definitely remember that you were on a one-wheel device, like flying by them. And you know, we've had people on different trail systems where we're riding very slow and very respectfully, and they're like, "We're going to report you. You're not supposed to be on this." And we're like, some of those times they are true. It is true that we weren't technically supposed to be on there, and then other times they don't know the law in those particular trails. But within reason, everything that we do, we're trying to be sensible and safe and make it so that we're welcomed, and that we also, you know, other people that are riding or walking, whatever, on those trails, let's say, also feel safe and respected, right? So I think it's really important. It's a real problem in a lot of PEV community, you know, mainly, like I said, like the e-bikes, but there are bad apples in every sport and in every all the hobbies. And we try, I mean, a little context here. Sean is a huge community member, and he's a big advocate for safety, and you know, he's gone to public transportation meetings and stuff, you know, about like infrastructure and bike laws, e-bikes, and you know, the like, and to try and you know, it's funny, WM's even saying here about being good ambassadors, and Sean has been an excellent ambassador of different PVs. He started with e-skate, he rode one wheel, he rides UC, you know, we ride in groups all the time with guys on e-bikes and stuff, and yeah, you know, we just need more positive people and people willing to speak up, and there are plenty of those people in the community as it stands, but when we go for these rides, we try to be on our best behavior. You know, we try to paint a good picture, and you know, when you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no one around to bother, and you want to go fast and have a good time, you know, that's when we open up and enjoy ourselves. So there's still room for both.
Right. I think, and it's so hard to gauge what should or should not be allowed on something. It comes down to, like, you know, are you being a responsible rider? It's the same thing with, like, you know, there are sports cars out there, but there are speed limits. You know, will they always obey the speed limits? No, but if you're being responsible in the right area, you know, you know, at least obeying the laws when it comes to being around other civilians or anything like that, you can paint a positive image for the rest of the sport. But yeah, great point. People seeing us in full gear and helmets, they assume it's like, oh, we're a motorcycle or something. One of the best things you can do when you have full gear on and you're trying to be on a bike path or something that's like meant for pedestrian traffic.
Yeah, for people walking.
Like put your helmet or your visor up and like greet someone, or don't be confined to, just your own space and just not wave or anything like that.
Yeah, WM is very active in the comment section here. We appreciate it. He says about wearing full gear and helmets. And that's what you should be wearing, right? But then it looks like we're on a motorcycle ripping through. But like for instance, like Sean said about opening your visor maybe when you're going around people, so you seem less intimidating, but also saying hi, how are you, how's your day, nice weather out here, like just trying to be friendly and inviting and show that you're not a jerk and you're not there to ruin their time or their space. And also like alerting people when you're going to pass someone, you want to say, hey, on your left, excuse me. You don't want to, like, especially electric unicycles, they don't make much sound, so when you're coming by someone and you spook them. So like alerting your presence is good. Let's see what else we got. I know we got a couple people that said what up, so what's happening?
What's up,
We got
guys?
a comment
Thanks
about
for being here.
Eastgate Con. Yeah, we got Eastgate Con coming up in I think like 2 or 3 weeks. That's the season opener for a lot of people. I mean, it's an Eastgate based event. I've never been there. Last year, AUCs were not invited. They invited us this year, so that's the first race for most of us this year.
Woohoo! It's
Watch out for
interesting.
people with headphones, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how like EUC is playing a role in all these racing events too. It seems to be growing exponentially and makes us all excited. But yeah, again, painting that picture of like, you eventually it will be more public and like more popular to watch these races. And, like let's say someone buys a small little EUC and then they take it to a bike path or, a trail or something that's meant for, like, let's say a class 2 e-bike and under, as far as restricting anything with other power sources, again, they might see it in the wrong eye, seeing something like a race and then seeing this. But, it's crazy because the EUCs just come in all different shapes and sizes.
So you have some other questions or things you want to go over?
Yeah. Sorry, I know we got into way other topics, but all good stuff. Yeah, still talking about the future here. Aaron, where do you see yourself personally and with EUCs in 5 to 10 years? You made a big life choice to start traveling in a van and doing the EUC life and racing and being involved in all kinds of stuff. Where do you see yourself going?
So I don't look that far ahead.
We're here. Let's think about that.
Yeah. Because it just I want to embrace and enjoy what I'm doing currently. That isn't to say I don't look ahead, but just like 5 to 10 years is a long distance, right? But simply put, like I got into this hobby because I wanted a way of getting around that was smaller and more convenient that I could bring with me in my van for when I'm traveling in a van, because I'm doing van life. I said kind of like way earlier on your stream, like why I got involved in, what's up?
I don't know. Are you guys still on the live stream?
We're trying to go through the rest of the questions.
Oh, okay.
You guys want to say hi to Albert Kua?
Are you literally still live streaming?
2 cells, 1 pack.
Yeah, 2 cells, 1 pack in the house. Albert, Bruce, Kua.
What's up?
ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. We got 13 people watching you, man.
Nice. An hour long.
That's about the most that ever
We
watched
need
one
more
of your streams,
EUC
huh?
content.
Yeah, just anything. Yeah.
Yeah, who is this? Because that looks like Albert Kua.
It's very close. It's
Yeah,
Albert
Albert Mua. I don't know how you pronounce it,
know
but
either. We
yeah,
probably
that's
murdered
Albert Kua. You know, actually, Brian thought that was a fake account by you.
Really?
Yeah.
Albert Mua?
Anyway, Albert, he's a big name in the community.
No,
Two
Brian-
Souls, one pack.
Dillard's a big name.
He's no, we don't care about him. You see Zach, get over here.
Zach Darnell's a big
This is the part of the live stream that people should have been tuning into.
What's up,
This
Zach?
guy, he says, "What's up, Zach?"
Hello.
Zach won the second race in
Off-road race.
Oh yeah, so my brain don't work. Okay? The off-road race. So I won the first race, which was the paved race, and he won the off-road race. Fastest
Yes, sir.
off-road racer in the world.
You can leave your car keys with Aaron.
I'm just saying that because he's here on camera.
That's very nice of you to say.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's cool. He's also wearing this really cool Smalls hoodie.
Ooh, shout out
Smalls is a big
Smalls.
community member.
Yeah. I feel like everyone in this community is always awkward on camera. Like, what do we do?
Give me 1 second.
Zach and I will head.
Take your time. Just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you again if you guys are joining us after the technical difficulties we had on my channel. This is the first time I'm doing this. Again, I'm just inspired by Aaron and his adventures and wanting to just share the good news of EUC and obviously Aaron and his success. Yeah, we need more EUC content. Thanks, Albert. Yeah, right. It's got to be his his secondary account. But anyways, yeah, so just for those of you who know, yeah, Aaron has an account called Balanced Adventure on Instagram, and this is obviously his YouTube. I'm sure he's going to be doing some more races in the future here, and just be a look out for that on his socials. He's putting out a lot more content recently. He just did the review on the V9, the InMotion V9, which is it's released and available for purchase. He has a link. You can get 5% off, so make sure you hit up his link. He's got the YouTube review video, riding video on his YouTube here. So yeah,
Sean, how many more questions were on that list?
we can wrap it up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I
So,
had just one more question, and then yeah, and then we'll wrap things up here.
10 minutes, guys. So
That's fine. That's all we need.
This was not where I was supposed to do the live stream, so it worked
all
out
good,
that
bro.
way. But we've also been going on a little longer than we anticipated. And
Yeah, we appreciate your time.
they're going to wait for me so I can get a ride home. But let's
Sweet.
go back to whatever we were
Anyways,
talking about before.
yeah. So pretty much last thoughts. What are your
Oh, you were saying about what am I thinking about in 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So,
and again, this
couple-
question goes along
yeah.
with it. What are your hopes, goals, dreams for EUC community as a whole? You name it.
Okay, so I'll bang out those questions quick. I'm looking forward to more developments in the EUC production, right? So, like, for instance, battery technology, maybe people don't think it's getting much better, but it is. And, I mean, we could only imagine what the possibilities are. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some seriously good options on the market in terms of battery. But I think more than anything, I'd like to see the weight of the batteries be decreased so that we can, because that's like one of the heaviest parts of the wheel, right? The motor and
Right.
like the overall structure, but then the batteries. So if we can find ways to lighten the batteries and lighten the wheels overall, I think that would be great. And then, of course, that goes along with my whole thing about liking smaller, lighter wheels that have a good amount of power, because I think kind of like what EUC started as versus what it is now. It was all like small little wheels with very little power, but they were all like last mile devices that you would put in your car, or you would take 2 miles away to the grocery store and back. So seeing it get more, or at least more options, getting back to that, and or finding ways to have smaller options that are, lighter, smaller, but still have lots of power and range would be where I'd like to see it. As far as me, I'm slowly making making my name out there and making EUC content on my channel and Instagram and everything. And I want to continue to make better and better videos. Like I did the review for the InMotion V9 and that was fun. I'd like to do more cinematic type stuff and vloggy type videos. So like those are some of the things that I'm looking forward to, and of course racing and the van life. What else did you say?
That's it, man. Just like where do you see yourself going? And
Yeah.
hopes, goals, dreams for the community.
We did get what about the E20? E20 is cool. I think it's an amazing starter wheel and a great training device. I don't personally ride one because it's not quite fast enough for me, and I do like that single point of contact. The V9 that just came out, I really like that, and that's kind of going in that same direction of smaller, lightweight wheels with suspension. And then you have those other two wheels coming out, the Nosfet Aero, which is supposed to be a lighter weight suspension wheel with good power, and then the Extreme Bull Rocket, which is 168 volt or something. Like it's
I think
crazy.
I'm excited for those two the most.
And exactly. And I mean different reasons for each wheel. So
Right.
But I'm excited to see more of that type of size and weight becoming prominent, and that to me is really exciting.
Right.
Being someone that likes the smaller, lighter weight wheels.
Yeah, we a lot of the OG riders out there started on such small wheels that were the biggest wheels at the time. So, and obviously non-suspension. So anyone that comes from non-suspension, shout out to you. I mean, we had to get through some tough times.
Yeah. There are still people that ride non-suspension to this day.
For real,
A lot
yeah.
of New Yorkers still swear by their non-suspension wheels.
Which
They
is
love
crazy.
their old Gotways when they, Pagodes when they were called Gotway. They
Right.
love, OG Sherman Max, Monster Pro. Like there's a lot of, Ruben White still rides a Monster Pro around,
Yeah.
There's still a need or a desire for those wheels, but I think as time goes on and technology advances, it's nice to see like more suspension wheels becoming commonplace, because ultimately it's safer and it's more comfortable, and it just makes for an overall better riding experience.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds for all of us. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to any
definitely
of us.
put them out right now, because
Well,
I
now
said 10
or
minutes,
even-
and 10 minutes it shall be.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, feel free to reach out to us. I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
Aaron feels, but feel free to reach out to us personally, whether it be like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. But yeah, we want to answer questions and help the community out. Yeah, thanks again, Aaron, for joining me and bearing with me through all the issues.
For anyone that just tuned in and is super confused, like
Right.
we started the stream.
We had technical
This was supposed
difficulties
to be
earlier.
Sean's stream. So Mono Otto, my guest, has a YouTube channel and makes Instagram reels, and
Yeah, I got to get back at it.
he's family first. So
Yeah.
you you see him not posting much, and it's because family is more important. But
Yeah.
he's a great community leader and makes good content, and so give him a follow on YouTube if you can, if you don't already follow at Mono Otto, just like his name is on the screen. And so I was his guest, and it turned out to work this way on my stream. So
Yeah. When you took
also,
sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was
you're
just
good.
gonna say, when you had your break talking to those people, your friends, I did mention like your YouTube and your Instagram handle and all
Yeah.
that, and that you have a link for the V9, since you just did a review on that.
If
I want
anyone is interested in InMotion V9, I did a review on it, and even if you don't have interest in the wheel or want to buy it, check it out. I'm really very excited about making the video. It was my favorite video I've made to date, and if you are interested and want to buy it, I have a link to InMotion's website, and I have a discount code that gives whoever 5% off. But that's definitely like one of my proudest things that I've done is making that video. And of course I was riding in San Francisco and San Francisco is just so beautiful and fun.
For sure.
And yeah. Also, one more person here, name's Kramer. Jordan
Yes, sir.
Kramer in the house. That's another
Hey.
Pennsylvania.
Hey.
Lancaster, Pennsylvanian right there. Number 1 EUC rider right there. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I guess
He's the man.
we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sean is, one of my greatest friends, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So I appreciate all of his kind words and pushing me and listening to me talk for hours.
Yes,
And
man.
being
Yeah, I mean,
in
you
support
deserve
of
where
me
you're
all
at.
the time.
Of course. Of course, yeah.
So,
we need to support the whole community and like each other as a whole. Like, keep uplifting each other, guys. Don't like allow small arguments or differences on like Facebook groups or whatever it may be. Social media is so tough to be on when it's just like you're just a bunch of words on the internet. So don't allow that to get in the way of anything for you guys. Oh, what's up, Fresh?
Sorry, Eli.
yeah.
This
We're here.
wasn't the setting that I was going to do the live stream, and my ride is leaving without me, and that Uber is a little
Yeah.
expensive. So I chose to end this at 10 more minutes. So
Cool.
I always appreciate you, Eli, for tuning in, and of course I'll probably do another live stream real soon. So don't forget to tune into that. I am back in LA, by the way, so I'm gonna have to catch a ride with you tomorrow. Come to Mount Baldy if you can. We're doing a big Mount Baldy ride.
There you go.
Yeah, do that, if you can.
That sounds fun. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. You're one flight away. I got a wheel for you, bud.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate
sounds
all
good.
you guys
Thank
for
you again,
tuning
Aaron.
in.
Yep.
Until next
and everyone
time.
in the chat. Yeah, thank you. Peace,
Peace.
guys. Thank you.